Have you ever sat alone in a completely dark room, stripped of all distractions, and listened to the sound of your own existence? Have you ever heard your heartbeat thumping so violently against the cage of your ribs that it felt less like a biological function and more like a desperate entity knocking on a door from the inside? That sound is not just hydraulic pressure, it is a signal. Consider the following system anomaly. You are moving through your day, surrounded by the ordinary, when suddenly, a bizarre frequency of anxiety washes over your chest. It isn't a thought, it is a physical vibration. Your heart begins to race, and a heavy dread settles in your sternum, warning you of a disaster that has not yet occurred. And then moments later, the phone rings. The accident happens. The bad news arrives. The event takes place exactly as your body predicted. This phenomenon defies the standard laws of linear time. If the brain is merely a processor that reacts to incoming data, how did it react to data that had not yet been uploaded to your reality? If the event hadn't happened yet, what was your heart responding to? If you have ever felt this, pause right now, because today you are about to uncover a truth about your own physiological architecture that has been systematically hidden from you for centuries. We have been conditioned to view the human heart as a primitive, mechanical component. A simple pump designed for the sole purpose of circulating fluid through the pipes of the body. We treat it like a mindless engine. But this is a fabrication. From the ancient rishis who mapped the subtle body to the modern architects of quantum physics, the evidence points to a single, terrifying conclusion. The device beating in your chest is not just a lump of meat. It is a gateway to a living universe. It is a biological time machine capable of scanning the timeline of the future. We are going to turn the key to that mysterious door today. But I must issue a warning. By the time this transmission concludes, your perspective on who you are and what you are capable of will be permanently reconfigured. To understand the magnitude of this technology, we must look at the blueprints of your origin. Travel back to the moment you were being assembled in your mother's womb. At the very earliest stage of development, long before your brain had even been constructed, your heart was already beating. Think about the engineering impossibility of that moment. There was no central nervous system to send the electrical impulse. There was no brain to calculate the rhythm or issue the command to contract. The processor did not exist, yet the engine was running. So I ask you, who gave the order? What intelligence started the machine before the computer was built? This is not just biology. This is the first clue that the master controller of your life is not in your head, it is in your chest. If the engine starts before the processor is built, we must ask, where is the intelligence coming from? Science is finally catching up to what the mystics have known for millennia. We now accept that the heart possesses its own distinct cognitive system, a literal heart-brain. For generations, anatomy textbooks lied to us by omission. But in 1991, the field of neurocardiology cracked the code. They discovered that within the muscular walls of your heart, there is a complex intrinsic nervous system containing over 4,000 specialized neural cells. Let me be very clear about what this means. These are not simple muscle fibers. These are neurons, the exact same class of cells found in your cranial brain. This changes the entire schematic of the human body. It means that your heart does not just pump, it processes. It has the autonomous capacity to think, to remember, and to feel complex emotions. And the most terrifying part for the logical mind is that the heart performs these functions completely independently, without requiring a single signal or permission slip from the brain in your head. You have a second, fully functional computer operating in your chest, and for most of your life you have been ignoring its output. But the cellular structure is only the tip of the iceberg. If we shift our analysis from biology to physics, the data becomes even more overwhelming. The HeartMath Research Institute has conducted extensive measurements on the energy output of the human machine. They found that while the brain emits a subtle electrical signal, the heart is a nuclear reactor by comparison. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart is approximately 5,000 times more powerful than the field generated by your brain. This is not a metaphor. This is a measurable magnetic field that does not stop at your skin. It extends several feet outside of your physical body, creating a 360-degree broadcast bubble around you. This explains the mechanism behind what we call vibes. When you walk into a room and the atmosphere feels heavy or hostile before anyone has spoken a word, or when you meet a stranger and instantly feel a sense of deep familiarity, your brain hasn't had time to analyze their body language. What is actually happening is a wireless data transfer. Your heart's massive magnetic field is physically scanning the magnetic fields of the people and the environment around you. You are interacting with their energy signatures before your eyes have even finished focusing. This brings us to the most significant discovery regarding intuition. Psychological experiments have proven that the heart receives information before the brain does. In controlled studies, when subjects were shown a series of images, their heart rhythms changed milliseconds before a frightening or stimulating image appeared on the screen. Think about the implications of that lag. Your heart reacted to the event before the event occurred in linear time. This is what we call intuition. It is not magic, it is advanced hardware. Your heart is a sensory organ capable of bypassing linear time to retrieve data from the future. The reason you make mistakes in life, the reason you feel lost or confused, is because you are trying to solve complex problems using only the brain's logic, constantly weighing profit and loss. Meanwhile, your heart already processed the correct answer seconds, or even years ago. Now take a step back. If modern science is only just discovering that the heart is a powerful electromagnetic transmitter, does that mean this technology is new? No. The hardware has always been there. We just lost the manual. If you overlay this new scientific data onto our ancient spiritual texts, the result is spine-chilling. Thousands of years before the invention of the ECG or the magnetometer, the engineers of the soul, the ancient rishis, had already mapped this territory with absolute precision. They called this science Dahar Vidya, or the science of the subtle heart, documented in the sacred texts of the Kathopanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. These texts described a specific coordinate within the human chest. They stated that within the center of the lotus of the heart, there is a tiny subtle space called Hridaya Akash. To the uninitiated, this sounds like poetry, but look closer at the description. They claimed that this tiny inner space is exactly as vast and infinite as the universe outside of you. They operated on a holographic principle known as Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. As in the body, so in the universe. They understood that the heart is not merely a container, it is a portal. When you close your eyes and focus on this center, you are not looking at a biological organ. You are accessing a specific node where the laws of time and space begin to bend. This node is what the yogic traditions call the Anahata chakra. The literal translation of the word Anahata is unstruck sound or unbeaten sound. In our physical world, sound is created by friction, two things striking together. But the heart emits a frequency that requires no friction. It is the primordial hum of the universe itself, and the receiver for this cosmic broadcast is hardwired into your chest. So, if we are walking around with a receiver capable of downloading universal intelligence, why are we so lost? Why do we feel isolated, anxious, and directionless? The problem is a signal-to-noise ratio error, the noise of your analytical mind. The constant static of fear, calculation, and logic is so deafening that it drowns out the subtle broadcast of the heart. We have severed the connection. We have forgotten how to listen to the only component in our system that actually knows the truth. But we have all felt glimpses of it. Remember the moment you first fell in love, or the moment you looked at a complete stranger and felt, inexplicably, that you had known them for lifetimes. Your brain likely told you it was illogical. It tried to dismiss the data, but your heart was telling you a different story. That wasn't a hallucination. That was your system momentarily coming online and reading the energy signature of another soul before your brain could interfere. The ancient texts and modern science agree on one thing. The heart knows the path before you take the first step. The only question remains, how do we clear the static? How do we tear down the walls we built around this sensor so we can finally hear the signal? If we possess this incredible wireless device capable of connecting to the universal server, why is the signal dead? Why do we feel so disconnected, fearful, and directionless? The reason is deep and philosophical, yet technically precise. Over the years, you have constructed a firewall around your heart. This wall is built from the bricks of past pain, rejection, and fear. Every time your heart was broken, every time the world denied you, you reinforced this barrier, closing the door tighter to protect the core. You accepted the false program that emotions make you weak, so you chose to become stone-hearted for survival. But here is the critical error in that logic. The Vedas state that this Hridaya Guha, heart cave, is the residence of the divine. When you seal this door to block out pain, you do not just block the suffering, you sever the connection to the infinite intelligence that has the capacity to transform you from a beggar into a king. We are now going to initiate the protocol to dismantle this wall. This is a courageous journey, because on the other side of that wall lies infinite light. But to reach it, you must be willing to navigate through the dark corridors of your suppressed emotions. This is not just relaxation, this is a rewriting of your existence. The procedure. Phase 1. Physical alignment. Straighten your spine. This is the antenna. Take a deep breath and deliberately shift your entire attention from the chaotic data of the external world to the physical center of your chest. We are moving from the head to the heart. Close your eyes and let your body go completely loose. Phase 2. The golden glitch. Hiranyagarbha. We are now entering the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb, described in the Rig Veda as the origin point of creation. Visualize, right in the center of your chest, where you point when you say me, a small, thumb-sized flame of golden light. This is not just imagination, this is the visualization of your prana life force center. As you breathe, feel this golden light expanding. It is no longer just a spark. It is liquid gold filling your lungs, your throat, and your entire torso. This is the same stellar energy that burns in the sun, now awakening within your biology. Let your thoughts drift away like clouds. Do not engage them. Focus entirely on this expanding golden ocean within you. Phase 3. Quantum entanglement. Now we reach the convergence point of science and spirituality. To activate the transmitter, we need a carrier wave. Bring into your mind the image of one person, one place, or one divine form that you love more than anything in this world. It could be your mother, your child, or your God. Do not just think about them. Feel the emotion of that love. According to scientific research, the moment you generate this genuine feeling of gratitude or care, your heart begins to produce a coherent wave. You are stabilizing the signal. Phase 4. The uplink. Now visualize an invisible, luminous cable extending from your heart, shooting straight up into the sky and plugging directly into the vast, beating heart of the universe. Just like a plug fits into a socket, you are now physically connected to the source of infinite energy. Feel that click. You are no longer an isolated unit. You are now part of the vast celestial machinery that turns the planets. Phase 5. The system purge. Chitta Shuddhi. Once the connection is established, the download begins. Visualize a divine, gentle, golden wave of energy flowing down from the universe, through that wire, and into your heart. This energy is intelligent. It flows into the dark corners of your heart, where you have hidden years of trauma, insults, and the silent belief that I am not enough. Just as a rushing river washes away the dirt from its banks, this cosmic current is washing away the black spots on your soul. You might feel a physical lightness in your chest, as if a ton of heavy stone has been lifted off you. This is a biological reality. Your stress hormones are dropping, and the system is healing. The firewall is down, the channel is open. You are now ready to listen to the broadcast. The hidden frequency. We have established the connection. Now comes the most mysterious phase of the operation. Signal acquisition. When your heart enters this state of coherence, the chaotic noise of the outside world vanishes, and the internal music begins. Shift your focus intensely to the empty silence between your heartbeats. At first, you will only hear the mechanical thumping, but if you listen with deep forensic attention, you will begin to detect a subtle, high-frequency resonance. It may sound like crickets chirping in the distance, or a very fine crystalline bell ringing without a source. The great sage Guru Nanak Dev Ji called this Anhad Shabad, the limitless sound. In technical terms, this is a standing wave, a sound produced without two objects striking each other. When you hear this frequency, understand that you have successfully shifted your operating system from standard human consciousness to superconsciousness. You are now in a zone where linear time ceases to exist. The query protocol. In this state of deep silence, you can now execute the primary function, the inquiry. Bring forward the problem or question that has been haunting you for months or years. But here is the engineering constraint. Do not formulate the question using words. Words are the slow, clumsy language of the brain. The heart's operating system processes imagery and feeling. Instead, hold the image of the problem in your heart and simply surrender it to the universe. Upload the data packet, and then stop. Do not wait for an answer. Do not analyze. The download format. The response from the universal server will not come as a logical paragraph. It comes as a flash. It arrives as a sudden download, a single image, a spontaneous idea, or an overwhelming gut feeling. Psychologists define this as heart intelligence. How do you verify the data? How do you know it's not just your brain playing tricks? Here is the diagnostic test. If the answer feels complex, fearful, or induces panic, that is the brain trying to protect you. If the answer is short, simple, and brings a wave of deep, inexplicable peace. Even if the answer is difficult, that is the heart. The system purge. Warning. I must warn you, as you run this protocol, you may experience a physical anomaly. Without any logical reason, tears may begin to stream down your face. You might feel an urge to laugh uncontrollably, or your body may start to tremble or vibrate. Do not be alarmed, and do not wipe the tears away. This is not sadness, this is a soul detox. The ice of suppressed trauma that has been frozen in your system for years is finally melting. You are breaking the shell that kept you separated from the magic of the universe. Let it flow. The emptiness that follows this purge is not a void, it is the feeling of Satchitananda, pure existence, consciousness and bliss, the law of resonance. When you make this a daily routine, your reality begins to shift mechanically. Pop culture calls it the law of attraction, but an engineer calls it the law of resonance, because your heart's magnetic field is now broadcasting a frequency of love and gratitude instead of fear. You physically cannot help but attract reality that matches that signal. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. Opportunities that previously required immense struggle will now arrive effortlessly. This is not a miracle, it is physics. You simply change the dial on the radio from the suffering station to the bliss station. Conclusion: your heart is not just a pump, it is the map to the treasure you have been searching for. The key is now in your hand. The choice is yours. Will you spare 10 minutes a day to knock on this cosmic door? Or will you stay in the dark room of fear and anxiety? If this transmission has vibrated a string within your soul, do not keep this data to yourself. Share this video with the one person who needs to hear it. To confirm your readiness for the new timeline, type the command code in the comments below. I trust my heart. This is Sacred Path Engineering. Listen to the rhythm, for it has something to tell you.